All right, what's up guys? So similar to the pull-up progression that we released a couple weeks back, it feels like a couple weeks ago, it might have been 2 months ago, I honestly don't know. But anyway, so similar to that, a couple of you have asked for a handstand walk progression or a handstand push-up progression, so that you can work on your upside down skills during quarantine and give them a little bit of extra effort. So you ask, you shall receive. So I wrote a 4-week progression twice a week. Should take about 15 to 20 minutes in addition to whatever else you're doing. Progression is to really refine and drill not only your handstand push-up, but your handstand walk, improve your core functionality, and just kind of work on all those things. So it's designed to be well-rounded for all your handstand stuff. So if you at all want to improve your handstand in any way, shape, or form, this program is for you. I'm going to link the program in the bio. So in the bio to this YouTube video, you'll be able to see the link to the program. You can follow it exactly. Point of this video is to go over all of the movements. So that's what I'm going to be looking at here, is just going through each thing kind of item by item to make sure that you know exactly what everything is. And if anything doesn't make sense, you can see it here before you get started. So what we got? So bicycles from a hollow hold. So what this is you're going to be down on the ground. You're going to be in a hollow body position. So I'm going to be holding here, and I'm going to do bicycles, which is my elbow to my knee, alternating sides, while maintaining shoulders off the ground, and most of my butt should be off the ground as well. And then I'm just going to be rotating through here. So the main focus is on obviously kind of rotational core stuff, but it's also important to make sure that you really engage that hollow position and you pull down hard with your core so that your shoulders come off the ground. So that's bicycles from a hollow hold. Leg extensions from a dead bug. So what that is I'm going to hold the dead bug position. So for the dead bug, I'm going to take my knees, bring them up. I'm going to, I know, you want to squeak your ball, that's fine. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring your heels up, back up. So you're going to bring your knees up. I'm going to reach my hands past my heels. So again, shoulders are off the ground, and then my low back is also off the ground. I'm going to hold this position, so keep my hands where they are, and then I'm going to extend one leg out straight, not changing any positions, bring it back in. One leg straight, back in. And I'm going to do that, again, I'm not going to talk rep schemes, sorry. So that's your leg extension from a dead bug. High planks to low planks. So what that is you're going to start from a high plank position. I'm going to go one arm at a time, down to a low plank, back up to a high plank. And I'm just going to rotate and cycle through those. So again, it's obviously a core exercise, but also a really intense tricep and arm exercise. So that's your high plank to a low plank. Handstand hold and a pike. You guys should all be pretty familiar with that by now. That's going to be when your feet are on an elevated object. I walk my hands back in. And then again, the main thing that we're focusing on here is pressing onto the tippy toes and creating a straight line. So if you, what I would recommend, take a video camera, film yourself, so that afterwards you can look and see, okay, what do my positions actually look like? But this is about what we're going for. So again, my hips and my shoulders are in a straight line over my hands, and I'm up on my tippy toes in the back, so that I've got basically a handstand position, sans lower body. So that's going to be your piked handstand hold. Next up, crab hold. So we do crab walks relatively often as a warm-up exercise, stuff like that. The crab hold is just that, we're just going to hold that position. So fingertips are going to face towards my heels, so it's going to be a little bit more intense in the arms. Then I'm just going to squeeze my butt, and I'm going to hold this high bridge position for 20 seconds. Again, really squeezing my butt, trying to get my hips up there, and again, keeping my fingers facing my heels, which is going to make it more intense on the arms and the shoulders. So next up, we've got palm raises from a nose to wall handstand. So nose to wall handstand, again, that's where you're going to wall walk up. So you'll wall walk from the floor all the way up. And then the palm raise is going to be, if you imagine that I was in a wall walk position right now. So imagine my feet were up on the wall behind me. All I'm going to do is bring my palms up off the ground. So I'm going to work on shifting my weight just a little bit. Notice the most important thing is that the hand that I press through, I shift away from. Back to center, shift away, back to center. So again, this is working on that skill for the handstand walk where you learn to transfer your weight from side to side and also get comfortable with actually moving your hands around a little bit. Next up, you've got kick-ups to a freestanding handstand. So your goal for this is to kick up and hold for 2 seconds at without moving your hands, without moving anything else. All we're doing here is practicing control. So if you need to, you can kick up and use the wall as a little bit of a safety mechanism. But if at all possible, the goal is to do this in free space. Out in free space. So again, you're just kicking up into a handstand, coming back down, or just practice your kick up. So if you're not quite ready for a handstand hold yet, out in space, practice kicking up. And the best thing you can do to practice your kick up is start with the hands on the ground, find myself in a little bit of a lunge position, and then just practice throwing this foot and coming up to the wall nice and gently. Again, just work on loading those shoulders and transferring that weight. So that's another way that you can scale that down a little bit. Next up, we've got a tempo handstand push-up from a pike position. So you're going to do these with a 3-second negative. Again, piked handstand push-ups should be absurdly challenging. So you can always do this if the movement itself is too challenging to do fully. What you can do is reduce the range of motion. So you can add a couple pillows under your head or something like that so that you're working on that pressing overhead position. But again, with these, the 100% crucial thing is that when your head touches the ground or when your head touches the ab mat, your head is in front of your fingers. And then as I press, I bring my head back between my hands. So to show you guys what that looks like, find my pike position. Again, tippy toes, hips up nice and high. My head touches the ground in front of my fingers, top of my head. As I press, head comes back through. That needs to be true. So you really need to focus on that tripod pressing position. Again, video. Set up your iPhone. It's just you in your house. Don't be ashamed. Do it. Set up your phone so that you can see, is my head very obviously out in front of my fingertips? So it's going to make it easier for you if you can, again, get that little bit of feedback. Because obviously, we as coaches aren't there to give it to you in class for now. Next up, offset push-ups. All that's going to be, again, you can scale these any way that you normally would, so you can elevate your hands if need be. But I'm going to have one hand out wide and one hand in close. And all this is going to do is overload the arm that's in close to me. So it's kind of like working a single arm push-up, but I'm still getting the stability from my other side. And so again, just kind of keep in mind, one arm is in a perfect push-up position, other arm is out wide inside. So that is your offset push-up. Next up, we've got diagonal Supermans. So what that is going to be is from a laying position, so from a prone position, I'm going to do opposite Supermans. So what that means is I'm going to go right arm, left leg, as high as I can, and then other side. So again, I'm really working on some cross-body control, just developing and using my erectors and my core in a different way. So that's going to be your diagonal Superman. Your diagonal V-up is the exact same thing on your back. So again, I'm going to start from a hollow body position, and I'm going to go cross body as far as I can, back to a hollow, cross body as far as I can. And again, the goal with both of these exercises is just that cross body control and strength, which you do need during a handstand walk, especially because you start to lose those positions. You have to have the strength to find them again. So next up, straddle press to handstand negatives. So these are a wonderful low back and stability exercise. So what's going to happen here is you're going to kick up to the wall. You can also do this again from a modified position. So you could do this off of a box or something like that if you needed to as well. But for the straddle press to handstand negative, what I'm going to do, I'm going to kick up to the wall. I'm going to allow my butt to rest on the wall just a little bit. And then I'm going to straddle my legs out wide and control them all the way down until my toes touch the ground as slow as I can. So, again, once I'm upside down, my butt can rest on the wall just a little bit. Feet come out wide. And then I'm going to slowly control my feet down to the ground as much as I can. To make that a little bit, to do these, you want to be a little bit hands off the wall so that there's a little bit of a lean in linear position, so meaning your shoulders are really out over the front of your forearm. Those are going to be really hard. So be aware, but just try and do them as slowly as you can, like 5 to 10 seconds on the way down, if at all possible. So that's your straddle press negative. Next up, we've got some 360 pirouettes from a nose to wall handstand. So what that means is you're going to kick up to the wall. You are going to spin in a full 360 circle. You are going to spin in a full 360 the other way, and then you're going to come down. These are very hard, and I'm actually not sure I can do them because my feet will be on my ceiling. But I'll at least try and demo it. Don't laugh depending on how this goes. So what we're going to do, so again, you're going to kick up. I'm going to do it with my legs bent. Don't do this, keep your legs straight. What we're going to do is we're going to plant and pivot, nose to wall, and then we're going to plant and pivot, back, butt to wall. You're going to do that one direction and then the other direction. Super, super challenging. If you cannot do that, you are going to go nose to wall, and you are going to wall walk 5 feet to the side, and then 5 feet the other way. So again, you're going to find a comfortable but challenging wall walk position, and you will shuffle your hands to the side for 5 feet. You will come back to center, and then you will go 5 feet to the other side, back to center. So that's going to be your scale if you're not comfortable with the pirouette that I just demoed. Next up, you've got single leg raises to a handstand from a pike. So again, this is a really high control exercise. So what you're going to do is you're going to need to find a pike position. If at all possible, have a wall nearby for a safety barrier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my pike position up so that I'm near the wall. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise one leg up to a handstand, and then I'm going to control it back down to the bench. And I'm going to do that on both sides, and that's going to count as one. So what I'm doing, again, from a pike, up on my tippy toes, I'm going to bring one leg straight up to a handstand, control it back down nice and slow. Other leg to a handstand, control it back down nice and slow. And again, we're really just working on that core stability and that core strengthening in weird positions when we do these. So that's your single leg raise to a handstand from a pike. Next up, what do we have that is new? Shoulder taps from nose to wall handstand. Pretty comfortable, pretty straightforward there. You're going to wall walk yourself up, you're going to be nose to wall, and you're going to try and tap the shoulder. So again, we're working down in progression as the weeks go along, so things are getting a little bit more challenging in some respects. So that's your shoulder tap from nose to wall. Next up, we've got palm raises from nose to wall, plus some handstand walk attempts. So again, you'll wall walk up to the wall. You're going to do those palm raises. So just keeping the fingers on the ground, working on weight shifting. And then you're going to walk as far as you can off the wall in a handstand position. If you're not comfortable handstand walking yet, you can just do the palm raise. You don't necessarily need to worry about trying to handstand walk unless you're comfortable. Next up, we got some strict handstand push-ups, reduced or adding a deficit where able. So again, strict handstand push-up, just a normal kick up to the wall, and then you'll get yourself set, focus on your tripod. So again, in the bottom, head is always in front of the fingers, and you can add or reduce range of motion as needed to fit your current ability levels. Next, we got some single arm Arnold presses while the other arm holds an object overhead. So use a kettlebell or a dumbbell to press with, and then find an odd household object to hold on the other side. You can do these seated or standing, it's up to you. Arnold press though, what that means is that I'm going to start with my object at my center line. So my kettlebell or my dumbbell is going to be center over my spine, and then the first thing I'm going to do is windshield wiper out and press, and then I'm going to come back down, elbow wide, back in. So it's the full range of motion of a normal press, but with a little bit of a deliberate upper back exercise to start and finish. So again, other arm holds overhead, object to center, out to the side, press, come down to the side, back to center. Next up, we got some, talked about that, yup, handstand hold, yup, shoulder taps, yeah, kick ups to, yup, Superman's V up, Sorry guys, just working through the progression, seeing if there's anything else that I need to kind of go off of here. Awesome. So that's a lot of the exercises that you guys will need to know. I talked about essentially everything, but again, this is a progression. So as the weeks go along, the rep scheme changes, the rest changes, and I've also put in bold ways to make these movements more challenging. So if the week 1 or week 2 felt pretty good, I put in notes, ways to make it more challenging, or you can obviously stick with the scales that you found that were comfortable. But again, the most important thing is that you're able to find something that allows you to progress on that skill. So that's your progression. Again, 4 weeks, twice a week. Hopefully by then we'll be seeing each other's faces again. I really hope so. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. So if you ever want to check a video, or if you're ever not sure how to scale something, again, you can always reach out. So, Instagram, email, text, whatever, it's totally fine. But yeah, so enjoy guys, and I hope you get your handstand better during quarantine. So enjoy.